Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Stacie Jae. And today we're gonna be talking about something that I've actually been wanting to talk about for a while now. Not to say that I'm an expert, but I've been through this situation enough times to know like what to do and what not to do. And I think a lot of times we try to give good advice to our friends, or we try to take good advice for our friends, but a lot of times you have people who are biased or have biased opinions because they know you, they know the individual that you're dating, and they get their own personal feelings and emotions mixed up into it. So I'm really just to give you some tips and advice, all straight, no chaser, of things that you should and shouldn't do while trying to heal from a breakup. So this is something that you're probably like, what makes you an expert? Well, I done been through this probably more times than I like to admit. And so I can't say that I'm an expert, but I can tell you what has and hasn't worked for me. I can tell you the things that I've done and I'm just like, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. And then things that I've done that I'm like, okay, we're onto something here. Like this is really helping and we should probably stay on this path. So again, no expert, but I have some advice. So if you're down to hear my non-biased opinions and advice on how to get through a breakup, stay tuned. All right, y'all. All right, y'all, so let's go ahead and hop right into my top 10 things that you should do right after a breakup. Just kind of make this process go by a little bit quicker. Not to say it's gonna speed it up, but if you do these things, I know for me it worked, for you they may not work. So like definitely listen and check them out. But for me, they definitely worked, definitely helped me to get past the hurt and the disappointment of the initial breakup. No matter who you are, no matter what the situation was, whether it was a good relationship or a toxic relationship, breakups suck, you know, especially when you've invested your time, your energy and effort into somebody, and especially when you love as hard as I love. Yeah, when it ends, you're just kind of like left feeling like, what was that all for? You know, find the reason, find the lesson for that connection, because there's always a reason for any connection that you make with any individual. So find out what that reason is, and that's just doing some internal work, whether that's going to therapy or whatever the case may be. But once you find the reason for that connection, accept that's what it was for, that's what the purpose was, and do these things to kind of help get over the breakup and fallout of the connection. All right. So the first thing that I recommend that you do after a breakup is actually respect the decision of the breakup. Now, this may seem simple, but you'll be shocked and surprised how many people do not even respect the decision of the other individual saying like, hey, I don't want to be with you anymore. I don't think this is working out for me anymore. People get pissed, they get mad, they start blowing up your phone, they start, texting you like crazy, trying to convince you, or you trying to convince them like, hey, we really should be together. There's nobody else but you for me, that sort of thing, which isn't the case, and the thing that you have to remember is, as individuals, we get to make that decision, like who we want to have in our life and who we don't. So if you're in the receiving end of it, yes, it sucks, but you have to respect that. If you're somebody making the decision, the other person should really respect the fact that, hey, you just decided like, I'm good on this. And I think once the acceptance of the breakup happens, it's easier to kind of like go through the process of healing. But if you stay stuck in that one phase of like not accepting the fact that you guys are broken up, then it's really going to make your healing process just that much harder. And this is my favorite line. This has always been my favorite line with breaking up with somebody that I just knew wasn't the person for me.
Hey, you're a great guy. You're just not the guy for me.
And also don't fall for that whole, let me see you in person, we need closure. Once you've made the decision, stick to your decision. Obviously, there's a reason why either one of you came to that decision, so just respect the fact that you guys have made the decision to break up. And it's cool, because there are other people out there. I think we forget that. I think we get so caught up in our feelings and emotions of like that one person that we just feel like is for me, and we forget all the red flags and all the drama and everything else. But the fact of the matter is, there are plenty of fish in the sea. Trust me. Hear me when I tell you. Like, there is somebody that's gonna love you, adore you, care for you, respect you, just the way that you want to be respected and loved. Number 2, honor your feelings and feel how you need to feel, but don't stay there long. So what I mean by that is, it hurts and it sucks and it's sad and it doesn't feel good. And you need to honor that. You need to honor yourself in allowing yourself to feel that. By denying yourself those feelings or to feel those feelings is going to make it the process longer, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to eventually have to feel those feelings, but somewhere down the road. And it's better just to go ahead and feel how you feel about it now. So if you want to cry it out. If you want to get angry, but do it alone. Don't call the person and tell them how angry you are. Really process and deal with those feelings on your own time, in your own space. If that means rallying a couple of your friends and having a bitch session about that individual, do that. Whatever you need to do to feel those feelings and to move past it, do that. But definitely honor yourself and honor your feelings by feeling how you feel. But that second part that I said, don't stay there, don't wallow in it. So it doesn't need to be where you're crying all day and you're sad all day, because again, guilty. I'm only saying what I know. I'm only talking about and talking on stuff that I know about, okay? Because I did that, and I look back at myself and I laugh, first of all. And second of all, I just kind of think to myself, that's just so much time that you wasted, Stacie. You really just didn't accept the breakup. You're sitting here crying and being all upset, and girl, just get over that shit. But you really do have to allow yourself to feel those feelings. So your feelings are valid. I'm here to let you know that you are 100% valid in how you feel, but feel it and then try to give it a cutoff time or a cutoff date, and then move on with the rest of your day. And then the next day, feel it, but hopefully it's a little bit less than it was the day before, and then just kind of keep going like that until you're waking up and you really don't have to cry it out anymore. So that's my advice. Respect your feelings and feel how you feel. All right. The third thing that you should do, daily affirmations and meditation. Again, this is something that absolutely worked for me, because a lot of times when you break up with somebody, especially if somebody has broken up with you, you question your value, your self-worth. Did you do enough? What's wrong with me? And so I feel like doing daily affirmations, I am beautiful, I am loved, I am powerful, or whatever affirmations works for you in that moment. And then on top of that, meditating, giving yourself 10-15 minutes a day just to kind of sit and be still, reflect on the situation, reflect on how you're feeling, checking in with yourself, making sure that you are good versus thinking about what that other individual may or may not be doing. So remember, this whole healing process is about you and you only. It's not about the other person. It's not about how they feel. It's not about any of that. It's literally about getting you back to 100%. So definitely daily affirmations and daily meditations was something that helped me out so much. And it literally just allowed my mind just to be clear and not to have all of my time occupied with just thoughts and anxiety and stress and worrying about that situation. I really just gave myself time just to be still and quiet. And then on the back end of that, affirming myself that I am an amazing woman, that I am powerful, that I am valuable, that I am loved. I just wasn't with the right person, and that's it. Number 4, no contact, no social media. And this one's probably the hardest for people, because again, when you spend so much time and your routine is so based on what another individual is doing, it's really hard not to pick up the phone just to see what they're up to, see how they're doing, to text them, to hop on their social media page, whether that's Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever, just to see what they're up to. And what it does is reopens that wound. Have you ever had a scab or a cut and then it healed, and then you pick the scab and it starts bleeding in, and then it heals, and then you keep picking the scab? That's what calling, texting, being on somebody's social media, that's what that looks like. It's literally like picking a scab. And so I personally, especially if it was a toxic situation, I personally would advise that you just do all cut off. So take them off your social media, delete all of the pictures out of your phone, delete their contact information out of your phone, really just do a hard no contact. But I think that some people find that difficult to do. So if you want to do a soft block or a soft, because I know on some of these social medias, you can manipulate it to where you can hide stories or hide seeing their feed and all of that. So do that, but you really need to, for me personally, I just say 86 at all, but do what you think is best for you. Some people like to remain friends with their exes and don't want to cause a rift and all that, which is fine. Me, I'm like, cut that shit off because you're treating me like shit as a girlfriend. I don't think you're gonna treat me that great as a friend, so why stick around, period. But that's just me. You gotta do what works for you. But I still recommend no contact, no social media, period, okay? Oh, and on the back end of that, one trick that I did, because there was one relationship where it was really difficult for me to not stay in contact with this person. And so I had a really good girlfriend of mine who, God bless her, I love her so much. But every time that I wanted to call him, I would call her, and I asked her, I said, listen, anytime that I want to pick up that phone and text or call him, would you mind if I just shoot you a message or shoot you a call, and then, you know, you talk some sense into me or whatever the case may be. But we had that understanding that she would always answer my phone calls and she would always answer my text messages, because she knew that it was really stopping me in my desire for wanting to reach out to the individual. So if you can set that up, if you have a close family member or a friend that's like cool with you just hitting them up like that often, until you don't feel the need to have to call that person anymore, do that, because that was another trick that I did. I forgot about that. Yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys. So every time you want to pick up the phone and call that individual, call your friends. Call that one person that you designated as, like, I don't want to say this, but as you designated as a cock blocker. Like, honestly, like, call them, and they know their job is to talk you out of contacting that individual. So definitely do that. Fifth tip that I have for you guys is occupy your time and get a routine. And what you really want to do with that is, you remember that person was there, they were spending all that time with you guys were going on the dates, hanging out, all of that nature. So now they're no longer there. So now you just have like all this free time. When you have extra free time, that leaves extra time to be tempted in contacting them and all of that shit. So what you really want to do is figure out a routine that works for you. For me, I picked up a second job, and I figured, you know, I could be making money and working out, and I started going out on friend dates more with my girlfriends. And so I really just started like filling my day with things from when I would wake up to when I would go to sleep, so that I wouldn't even have time to think about that individual. Also, tip number 6, have a small support group of friends and family that keep you laughing and keep you having fun. That's another thing. Like, laughing heals. I don't care what it is, whether it's a breakup, whether you're sick, whether, you know, whatever stress you're going through, laughter is like healing and medicine for the soul. And so if you have a group of friends and a group of family members that you just, you know, every time you're around them, it's a great time, it's a riot, you're laughing, you're just having yourself a good old time, that's who you want to be around. Because again, if your spirits are up, that's less, the more you're laughing, the more you're having a good time, the less time you have to spend in your feelings about being sad and depressed that it didn't work out with this individual. So you still have your whole life to live, and you still want to feel that with just like joy and laughter and happiness, right? And so if you can't generate that for yourself, surround yourself with a group of people who will help generate that for you and will keep you laughing in good spirits. Tip number 7 is take yourself out on dates. I think I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but definitely do this, because this was one of the things that really sealed the deal for me. My date night for myself was every Wednesday. I had a cute little sushi spot that I used to go to in Atlanta, and it had the most beautiful sunset. I would sit on the patio and I would have my glass of wine or two and my little sushi and appetizers, and I would just like be in the moment with myself. And I would just I just really learned how to enjoy my own company again, because again, you're so used to having somebody else's company to enjoy that you forget the things that you like to do and the things that you want to go do. So if you know you've always wanted to try skydiving, if you've always wanted to try scuba diving, if you always wanted to try a new restaurant, if you wanted to go to a comedy show or a concert or whatever, take yourself out on dates. And for me, that's what did it. Like, I really started to fall back in love with myself and start really enjoying my own company when I started to do that, because I realized how dope I was and how cool it was just to chill on your own. Like, you don't always have to have somebody there to enjoy your time and to enjoy yourself. Like, you really can just enjoy yourself with just kicking it by yourself. And it may sound lame and it may sound corny, but I'm telling you, it works. So try it out. So just hear me out here on this one, ladies. I promise I got y'all, okay? Tip number 8, make a self-improvement that will boost your self-confidence. So for me, that was working out. I had kind of got a little extra, not little, I had got a lot of chubby. in one of my last serious relationships, because all we did was eat. And so when I got out of that relationship, I looked in the mirror and hopped on the scale and I was like, say what? Like, wait, no. So, you know, breaking up again can take a toll on your self-confidence. So you definitely want to do something that's going to boost that. And for me, it was working out. And so I started working out in the gym, and no bullshit, y'all, I lost like 50 pounds. So I lost, not only did I lose an individual, but I lost a whole bunch of weight after that. So and that boosted my self-confidence to the max. And I think that, you know, and I don't know if it was secretly him self-sabotaging me by having me eat all that food and gain all that weight, but, you know, needless to say, because I was not feeling good about myself being that big, but got my ass in that gym and started working out, and here we are now. So there you go. But for some people that might not be weight, you can do things like learn how to do your makeup, or learn how to do your own hair, or you know, learn a new hobby. If you've always wanted to bike ride or roller skate, or, you know, make beats or rap or whatever you have that's always been in the back of your mind to try and do that shit. Like, definitely focus on what it is that you want to do, all right? But make sure it's boosting that self-confidence, okay? One of the most important tips that I can share is remember who the hell you are. I think a lot of times we know that we walking around like we just the ish, okay? And we get in these relationships and we let these people drag us for dear life. And I know I did. I forgot who I was because I would put on makeup and my ex would be like, you ain't got to put all that shit on your face. And so it would really like just, I was dating a narcissist, y'all. And I promise y'all I'm going to share that story on another video coming very, very soon. But I feel, looking back on the situation, he was intentionally chipping away at my self-confidence, and he was intentionally doing things to make me not value myself and kind of to lower my vibration. And so once I got out of that situation, and it worked because I really was feeling like low and bad about myself. But after getting out of that situation, after breaking up with him, I had to remember who the hell that I was, because let's be very clear, I'm that chick, okay? And he tried to make me forget that I was that chick, but the joke's on him, okay? Because I remembered who the heck I was. And you have to remember who you are. You got to remember how strong you are, how beautiful you are, how smart you are, how ambitious you are, your dreams, your goals. You have to remember all of that stuff. Like, you have to remember that. Like, you have to remember who you were before you were even in this relationship with this individual, and get back to that person. Get back to her, get back to him, all right? And my last and final tip is fall back in love with yourself. All of that energy that you were giving that person, all of that time, all of that effort, reverse it, boomerang it right back to you. And I'm telling you, once you fall back in love with yourself, your confidence level shoots through the roof. Your value about how you think about yourself shoots through the roof. Your self-worth shoots through the roof. Like, you really are floating on cloud 9 about who you are as an individual. And it's going to be really hard for somebody to come in now, because I've done the work. I'm in this beautiful space where I'm just like so in love with myself. I think I'm dope. I'm working on my dreams and goals, and that's what's important to me right now. So anybody coming into my life has to match my energy and my effort on how I treat myself, because right now I value myself at like 10,000, okay? My self-confidence is way up here. So anybody coming in is gonna have to either maintain that or boost that. If you coming in and you're dragging my vibration down, or you dragging the love that I have for myself, or you're not loving me, if you're coming in and you're not loving me the way that I'm loving me, you got to go, because you can't love me less than I love me. Because I think I'm dope, and I think I deserve it, and I am deserving of all the love that I have for myself, plus any love that somebody wants to give to me. And it has to be genuine, and it has to be pure. And if it ain't, and if I see red flags, you got to go. Period. Poo. So falling in love with yourself is probably the best thing that you can do to heal yourself from a breakup, because once you fall back in love with yourself, it's the best relationship that you'll ever be in. And anybody coming in after that, literally, it'll be hard for them to not match your vibration. And to me, it'll improve the quality of your dating life and the quality of the individuals that you're dating, right? So those are just my little 10 tips and tricks. I'll put them back down in the description box below so you can see all of them. But I hope this video helps somebody, because I know for me, I wish I had a video like this to watch when I was going through my breakups, because I didn't know what to do. I was a hot ass mess, but it took me some time. It took me a few years to really figure out all of that information that I just put in this quick little video for you guys. So take advantage, listen to my advice. I pray that it works for you guys, and happy healing to you all, really, truly. So I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. I love y'all. Have a good night. Bye, guys.